Thank you for watching Gabbin About Games. This is Miquel Sanchez.
And Viperuk98.
And today we're going to be talking about developers. Should developers start to call time on their declining franchises? I think it's going to be easy to pick on people like EA or DICE with things like Battlefield or Call of Duty, Activision's Call of Duty, I think. But what do you reckon? Is it about time that, because year upon year, you very rarely hear of people commenting how much improvement these games have made. More often than not, you hear about how people are actually saying how the franchises are getting worse. So should these companies just stop producing franchises and just look to develop new intellectual property?
Well, from my point of view, I've played a lot of the Battlefield games, I've played a lot of the Call of Duty games, and you do get to a point where they just feel they're just the same thing, sort of copy-paste, we'll put a slightly different background in. And it's, yeah, to be honest, I would actually agree. I'd say, you know, maybe make 2-3 games, make it a trilogy. Beyond the trilogy, move on.
I mean, you could always argue
very much the same kind of thing.
You could always argue that the problem is that they just release, because they release a new game every year, that you just very rarely do not see any difference. It's like the FIFA games. I know you don't play the FIFA games, but you know, between FIFA 2000 to 2016 now, it's been pretty much they've just reworked the game. It's only every 5 or 6 years that they actually totally redevelop the game into a new engine or a new physics design from there. And that seems to be the problem, is that people do just expect the same thing year after year, and people moan about it, but yet they still buy it. You know, you got Call of Duty 3 that not long came out, and I've heard a lot of criticisms of it, saying that it's too similar to previous Call of Duties. They release it every year; it's not going to be different.
No, they're not giving themselves the time to make a better new game. They're literally just copy and pasting, as I said.
But the problem is that people still buy them. They are cash cows for the developers, because people year on year buy them. I'll put my hands up. I'll do it with the FIFA games. Every year I will buy the new FIFA game. I don't generally tend to see much improvement, but I buy it because I'm an idiot, I guess.
So with the Call of Duty, Splinter Cell and Battlefield games, I've gotten to a point now where I'm just saying, yeah, not interested anymore. I'm not buying the games. I haven't bought the most recent ones. It's the same thing over and over, and I'm just sort of bored of it. There's so many different new games out there. I prefer to play one of those than one of the copies that they've pushed back out again.
The only slight thing I would suggest is that I think it's a little unfair comparing Battlefield to Call of Duty, just from the point of view that a new Battlefield game is usually at least a year to 18 months, more often than not 2 to 3 years before the next proper Battlefield comes out. I mean, for example, Battlefield 2 to Battlefield 3, yes, there were a lot of games that came in between. You had the bad companies, but that was almost an 8-year gap between an official sequel. It was about 2-3 years until Battlefield 4 came out from Battlefield 3.
Well, franchises, don't forget, we're talking about an entire franchise. So you had Battlefield 2, Battlefield 2142, Battlefield Bad Company 2, all came out in between.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that Battlefields don't seem to come off a supply line like Call of Duties do. Call of Duties just seem to just plop off the conveyor belt once a year regularly, and people moan that they're not the same. So I mean, the problem is that the alternative for these developers is to develop something new, and something new costs money, and it's unpredictable how it's going to do on the market. So, yes, I really do wish that for a year or two, some developers would just say, OK, let's start to look to see if we can build some new franchises. Because that's the problem, it is a problem with gaming, and it's going to be a problem with gaming, is that there are just no new intellectual properties out there.